Hi, I am Tapan Chakraborty. Welcome to my channel Fly with Tapan. There is one quotation: the more you sweat in peace, the less you bleed in war. So the war must be practiced in peace. The same thing is applicable to air-to-air missile firing also. In this video, we will see how air-to-air missile firing exercises are being carried out in Air Force. Do you know what is an air-to-air missile is? The missile which fired from an aircraft to destroy other flying objects like aircraft, drone, etc. The problem to carry out air-to-air missile firing exercise is to keep the target in mid-air. Not only that, the target should be such that missile can track it, lock it, and can be fired onto it. Before going into the target, let's see how missile get guided. Then only we can understand what are the requirements of a target used in air-to-air missile firing. There are mainly two types of guidance. One is heat-seeking and another is radar-guided. Most of the air-to-air missiles are coming under these two categories. Besides these, there are some more guidance systems like GPS, laser-guided, etc. For heat-seeking missile, it requires a source of heat like an aircraft engine or engine of an artillery tank, etc. These all machines burn fuel and produce heat or IR rays. The heat-seeking missile has an homing head in the front of the missile which can pick up the source of heat, and missile control section can calculate the target's position with respect to the missile. The control section has a steering actuator and control surfaces to guide the missile towards the source of heat. If the target turns, the missile also will take turn accordingly. Now comes the radar-guided missile. To get guided, it needs a target which is capable of reflecting electromagnetic rays or radar rays. To fire a radar-guided missile, the target must be illuminated first with the radar rays. This can be done by the missile itself or by attacking aircraft or by a ground radar unit. Let it be any source, the missile will receive the reflected radar rays from the target and will get guided. Now we know what are the requirements of a target for air-to-air missile firing. First of all, it should be in mid-air and remain in air for some time. It should produce heat for heat-seeking missile, and at the same time, it should be capable of reflecting electromagnetic rays for radar-guided missile. This is a target known as flare or target flare. Basically, it's a metal container having a suspension lug at the top to suspend it underneath the wing of an aircraft. These are the fixed fins to stabilize the flare after releasing from an aircraft. This is the fuse fitted in front of the flare. It has a small quantity of explosives and has a delay mechanism. The purpose of the fuse is to initiate the main explosive in air. Behind the fuse there is an explosive pad. Behind the explosive pad there is a flare composition or candle. Behind the flare composition, there is a parachute. In between the parachute rope, the carbon fabric or mesh is stitched. The carbon mesh are capable of reflecting the electromagnetic rays. A fireproof rope attached in between the candle and parachute. The complete parachute along with carbon mesh is folded and kept inside the container. And at the last, this is a lid. Close the rear end. During exercise, the aircraft carrying the flares fly in the front and the aircraft carries the missile flies below and rear of the first aircraft. First, after reaching over the range, the first aircraft will release the flare. Then it will clear off from the range. Generally, this exercise is carried out over the sea. After release from the aircraft, the target flare will have a free fall for some time. After the expiry of preset delay, the fuse will function. It will ignite the explosive pad. The explosive pad has got two purposes. First, it will initiate the flare composition, and the gas pressure produced by it will push the flare along with the parachute towards the rear, and the rear lid will break open. The candle along with the parachute will come out from the container. The container will fall separately. The parachute will deploy and candle will keep burning. Now it has got a flare composition which will burn and produce heat for heat-seeking missile, and carbon mesh which will reflect the radar rays for radar-guided missile. And it will remain now in the air for quite some time, as its descent rate will be slow under the control of its parachute. It is fully operational now, and both the types of missile can be locked and fire onto it. Now the aircraft carrying the missile will approach from the behind. If attacking aircraft is carrying a radar-guided missile, then the target is to be illuminated with a radar beam. Now the reflected radar beam will be picked up, and the radar beam will be the mode of guidance. Now we can lock this missile onto it and can fire it. This is how radar-guided missiles are fired to train the pilot. Now let's see if attacking aircraft pilot carries a heat-seeking missile. In this case, there is no need to illuminate the target. That's why it is called fire and forget method. The missile will pick up the heat from the candle, and this will be the mode of guidance. The target flare is an important piece of equipment for any air force. In modern warfare, the missile plays the most crucial role and decide the fate of war. Without getting sufficient practice with this, the fighter pilot cannot fight the war efficiently. If you feel the information I shared with you is valuable and interesting, then please consider subscribing to my channel.